Yeah, it's been obviously the recruiting cycle really never ends anymore, but this was a little bit of a culmination for us, from the end of the football season until now, and we get to sign some really good players in some really key need spots for us, and been fun watching some of them work out the last couple of weeks, and looking forward to what spring ball is going to look like, and then obviously when this group of freshmen get here in the summer, it's going to be fun to watch.
Talk about some of the gaps you filled from the December signing class compared to what was signed today.
Well, the most important thing we were looking, we graduated 3 corners that we lost that all played significant amount of snaps this past year, and we needed to make sure that we got bigger at that position, which we did. We got size, and we got some length, which we really were looking for at that position. And I think obviously with Rob Coleman expiring his eligibility, we wanted to bring in another older quarterback to compete with McCown and Driver and Longino for a starting job. So that's how Mekhi Hagan got here. So that's kind of what we were looking to do.
You kept on track, talking about signing local talent. You got a West Point start in Nederland, so you are, and of course, of Westbrook, P&G, you are getting the local talent to stay home.
Yeah, I mean, we got obviously starts with Roy Thomas Jenkins, who was a Beaumont guy. He played at St. Thomas this year, and then Albert and Mason Winchell over at P&G, and Denham, and of course Reagan, Lanks. Those guys are just going to be critical to what we do. So, and then there's going to be a couple more still to come. I think 409 guys that'll be coming up on campus. So I think we've done a good job in the 409, and I think we always have since I've been here. But I think this talent is really undeniable in the guys that we got. And Mason's going to play 2 sports. He's going to pitch, and he's going to play outside linebacker. So that's something that we've really never done. So that'll be interesting to watch. And he's a heck of an athlete, though. I know that.
Is this the largest local class that you guys have had? I'm trying to think back. It feels like this one really stands out as far as the local class.
Certainly from a overall talent standpoint, I mean, I think that's about as good as it's been here for us. Maybe ever since they brought football back. So I think we did a really good job in the 409 this year of keeping the really good talent here.
What about it seems like you guys attack the transfer portal as well. Just what does it take to be successful in the portal these days?
I guess, knowing what you're looking for, building a deep board, that's kind of what we've talked about as a staff, is just because the guys come and go and there's unlimited official visits now, and it's really just making sure you got the right type of guys, making sure that you making sure that you have a deep board, because guys disappear pretty fast off of the transfer portal. So I think we did that, and we were really successful in honing in on really some local Texas, Louisiana type of guys that we thought could help us out. Even, Jamadia, the receiver from Coastal, played for a guy that I coached with at Charlotte. So that was the connection, and, really just getting a chance to know the guys and who they are. Same with Mekhi Hagan, the offensive coordinator, and Wayne Cordova had worked together. So, getting an insight on what the guys are really like, I think is really important for us in the portal, and just getting the right mix of guys on our football team. It's not always perfect, but I think we Josh Robinson, the running back, we recruited Paul Modia, he's a Houston guy, wanted him, recruited him, and then Paul's like, hey man, I got this running back here and from Chicago, but he's a really good player, and I know you're looking for a running back, because we had talked about it on his visit, and that's how we got into Josh Robinson, and that kind of sped that process up. So, getting the right guys, and then those guys, giving you some recommendations on some guys that might fit.
With the changing on a JUCO kid coming out, getting those extra years, did that change your approach going after JUCO kids?
No,
When you can keep them a little
because the JUCO rule that came out, it's really the Pavia rule,
Yeah.
says you have to be in your 5-year window, and then it's only really right now a 1-year waiver. It's only for this coming year. Nothing has been set in stone, anything beyond that. So, the best recruit we really have on the offensive line is our center, who's coming back because he was in his 4-year window, and, Eli Ripley is now back as our center, and I think that's huge for us. That's a guy that we were, we're all looking around the room, and we had some guys that we thought were going to be the guy, but to have him back, I mean, a guy that started every single game since he's been here, 23 games, those are hard. That's hard to replace.
Talk about the schedule. It just came out this week. A tough non-conference. North Texas, South Dakota, Central Arkansas, Texas Southern.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get where you want to get if you don't play hard schedule. So, I think what we're looking for is to make the next step, and the only way you can do that is test yourself early on. And I thought it really helped us last year, and I think it's going to do the same this year. I think getting a chance to go play at North Texas is great for our guys, and bringing a nationally ranked team like South Dakota here, to Beaumont is going to be really special. I hope the game time is 1:00 in September. That's my hope. Yes, Dylan Dixon's shaking his head. Yep. It's a little different down here. You could.
Wear the white that they make them wear the dark.
I don't think I'll do that, but I tried that once. It didn't work out too good. But I think we're gonna, everyone. You think you could prepare for this heat, but you can't. No way. So it takes us all of preseason camp to get ready.
What's the difference in approach between getting guys from high school and the transfer for this upcoming?
There's no magic number or approach to it. I think we always want to be the team, I think, that builds through high school, and that's the way we really support the foundation of our program with, and then fill in. Like I said, we graduated 3 corners. That's where you see, Paul and DeMarcus come into play, and we did sign some freshman corners too that we think, and we got some really good young corners in the program right now we think are going to be pretty good. So, we're really just finding that right mix and trying to get some veterans that have played college football to just give you a little leg up, maybe than just playing some freshmen that haven't played any snaps yet. So I think that's kind of where we kind of, that's kind of how we settled down the stretch here. Offensive line, we got a lot of guys back, so there really wasn't any need to go out and recruit transfer linemen because we have 4 starters back, and I think that really gives us a leg up. So really we wanted to go get quality freshmen that can build in our system and be ready to go when those guys all graduate, which we'll have a bunch of guys next year leave. So
Maybe way too early to tell. Can any of these incoming freshmen have an immediate impact?
I play the best players. It doesn't matter whether you're a freshman or you're a senior. The best players play. So we think we got some really good players. I mean, those 2 receivers that we signed in the early signing period are, they're missiles. I mean, they're lightning fast and, proven with track times, and those guys are going to be, they're going to come in here wanting a piece of the pie when they get here. I promise you that. So those guys, if they can learn the offense and they can go out and compete, let them go compete. I mean, that's the idea. This is competitive athletics, man. You come up and you're going to compete for your job every week here. It's not, we'll obviously, if it's a tie, we'll give it to the older guy that's been here. But, if the freshman's better or the younger guy's better, he's going to play.
Coach,
Go ahead.
Coach, you think you guys are solid across the board as far as the roster goes? Or are you looking to add a few more people?
I think right now I feel really good about what our roster looks like. I think we got to get through spring ball and, see how some of these younger guys have developed and really worked into our offense and defensive schemes. And then we'll reevaluate at the end of spring again. I mean, I think, again, the transfer portal world allows you to evaluate your roster after every iteration. So, we did it in the fall. We'll do it again after the spring. And, and some of the players are going to evaluate where they are too and decide whether, this is spot where they can play, or maybe they need to go somewhere else. I mean, that's where we are as far as, the way rosters are constructed nowadays. So we're constantly communicating about it. We're constantly, watching our guys work out. And really that's when you used to say, hey, everything matters, really didn't, because no one was really going anywhere after the fall. Now, now you're constantly evaluating everything, and how they work out and how they finish and how tough they are, and all that stuff really, really matters. And how fast they pick up our system. It's a long-winded answer, but
What about NIL? How does that play a role in all this? I know that Lamar and the Southland has put some resources in place for the athletes. Does that factor into how you recruit, or
No,
do recruits
it does not factor in at all. I don't recruit with NIL, and that's for our players that are currently on the roster. And we are not flushed with that kind of money like some Texas and really Group of 5 schools are. So we have to be really strategic on how we use it, and making sure that our veterans are taken care of first. We have some guys that are coming in back as grad students that maybe don't get the financial aid they used to get. So we really need to try to help them out so we can keep them whole. I think that's really what we're using the resources for right now. And to use it on recruits that have never done anything here and never sweat with the red on, I'm not going to do that yet. We're not at that point as a program. So
Okay. How would you explain to these incoming signees about the standard of Lamar football?
Well, I mean, I think our players always set the tempo for the standard. And we try to get these guys around our players as much as possible during the recruiting process. They come on game day visits. They watch the way our guy perform, and really, you communicate what the standard is, but you don't really know until they see it in action. So I think our players and the way our performance coaches handle themselves and our position coaches handle themselves, I think they know at that point what the standard is and what they have to live up to. And I think our players have done a great job of showing what standards really look like. And they're 18 to 22-year-old guys, in some cases 23, so they're going to make some mistakes here or there. But I think for the most part, our guys do a really good job of showing what standard looks like. As you know, I tell you all the time, right? Culture is not what you put on the wall. It's what your players allow in the locker room. So that's how culture is defined.